What is up, guys? Proper Truth here, and welcome back to the channel. So today what you guys are going to begin is my S Forces or Security Forces, a new archetype that came out of Blazing Vortex. This is a column based deck. It's it looked like a fun deck when I first saw it, and it is a fun deck. Like, you can catch people off guard. It's the main concept of it is just basically wherever your opponent's monster is at is based on like the columns that they're in. So you, in this deck, you can manipulate in the columns where your monsters can be at, which column they can be at, and then like their effects will it won't trigger because it's continuous, but their effects will apply from there. It's a fun deck. Like, I play it online, and we do need more support for it. We really do. Right now, it's mixed in with different archetype that you'll see right now. So enough said, let's get straight to this profile. Oops, you saw my proxy, guys. Don't have a side deck. This deck just came out. Don't even know what to side on it yet. Okay, first up is the main girl, 3 Security Force Rappa. This card is actually pretty cool. This is like your main starter. This is what you really want to start off with this, or bring it out with Isolde. One or the other. She is your starter though. So each of your opponent's monsters that's in the same column of any type of security force, they can only attack that security force in that column. It makes sense. So like, if she's in a column with one of my opponent's monsters in that column can only attack her. And same thing for any other security force that's facing the opponent's monster. Cool thing is that her effect is a quick effect. So basically, you banish a S-Force card out of your hand, and you tag her out back into your hand to special summon an S-Force from your deck. So basically, you will banish Gravitino to special summon Platina. Platina will bring out Gravitino, and then Gravitino's effect will activate to search any S-Force card. So that's your main combo, mainly when you start off with her. So definitely you got to play 3 of her, guys. Next up, the card I just mentioned, which is 3 S-Force Gravitino. When this card is normal or special summon, you actually get to search for any S-Force card. And each of your opponent's monsters in the column of an S-Force monster is actually banished when it leaves the field. So if you have a whole field of S-Forces and you clear their board, they actually get banished instead. And the cool thing about it, with the new trap card that's coming out, it has IP Masquerade on it. You activate and you bounce cards on your opponent's side of the field for as many S-Forces you have in the field. So like, if you have Gravitino on board and any other security force monster that's in the same column as your opponent's monster, and you activate that, they don't go back to the hand. They actually get banished because they left the board. They get banished. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful combo when you have him and that trap card. We get that trap card in the next set, Lightning Overdrive. But this card is actually pretty cool. I feel like with the S-Forces now, you have to play 3 of them, of everything, pretty much. So next up is Platina, S-Force Platina. This card, you want to play 3 as also as well. Basically, in each column of your each of your opponent's monster that's in the same column as the S-Force, that monster loses 600 attack. So that's very cool in a way, because sometimes you can't get over. Like, she's gonna be your highest in security force wise, along with minus the Link monster Justify. She can get over monsters herself half of the time. When she's normal or special summon, as I mentioned when you do the combo with Gravitino, is that when she's normal special summon, you special summon a security force that's in your banish pile. That's why you banish with Rappa, you banish the Gravitino to special summon her with Rappa's effect, and then she will trigger bringing out Gravitino, triggering Gravitino to look for any S-Force card. So you have to play 3. Like I said, in S-Forces right now, you should be playing 3 of everything, for the or 2 on certain cards. Next up, I'm playing 2 Security Force Orifice. Cool thing is that he's a Cybers. I love that. And just like, we got another Cybers coming out on Lightning Overdrive. Then we got this one, and the Link monster is a Cyber. So beautiful. Now, this card was kind of tricky when I first read it. This card states that your opponent cannot target any of their monsters in the same column as a security force monster with card effects. So basically, I thought that when I first read it, I read it wrong. I thought they couldn't target your S forces, but apparently they can't target their own monsters, which I don't understand why they did that. So I'm like, I was confused about it at first. But the main effect that you'll be using is his Ghost Ogre effect. So basically, he has a Ghost Ogre effect. When your opponent activates a card, you can actually banish an S-Force monster from your hand to destroy that card. So it's pretty cool in a lot of ways, because you could force your opponent to do things that they require to have that monster on board, but then once you get rid of it, it doesn't work. Like for an example, let's just say LP and Pitsy, you know, you gotta special summon something to their column. If you activate this and you get rid of that monster, that monster can't come out. So he's pretty cool, and he's an 18 hitter. So I thought two of them should be fine. I feel like when we get the other two, the one that special summons from the hand, and then the other one that negates, that your opponent can't activate effects within that column, we can drop him down to 1. So right now, I even thought about putting a third one in. Just like I said, I'd rather play 3 of everything, but space-wise. So that was your S-Force engine. Now off to the next engine. You'll be playing 3 of bad boys here. This is, I love Torn Scale. This is Phantom Knight Torn Scale. You have to play right now in this predicament. You need to play the Phantom Knight engine. The Phantom Knight engine helps you bring out the Soul Day, which helps you send equip cards to the grave so you can bring out Rappa. Also, it's great when you use the Phantom Knight engine, because if you banish a Phantom Knight card and he's in your graveyard, you can special summon him, so he's more of overlay material or link fodder, you know what I'm saying? You know, or he could be that third monster you need to summon Justify, because sometimes you can only summon Justify with 3 monsters exact, and one of them has to be a security force. So that kind of sucks in a way. But you got to play the Phantom Knight engine, and definitely this is baby boy over here. You got to play 3 of them. Next up, you're playing 2 Phantom Knight Cloak. Again, just you have to. I don't think you should be playing 3. I was going back and forth testing 1 and 2. I think I still go back and forth. I think right now 2 is fine, because you want to also see it. You also want to be able to, you know, banish it from the graveyard and stuff like that. And then the 1 Boots, I even thought about putting Boots to 2, because sometimes when you banish, you know, putting Boots and Phantom Fogblade to 2, just for that extra search and that extra negation and stopping attack wise. Then 2 Fire Flint Ladies. Basically, when you control a warrior monster, you can just special summon this right out of the hand. That's what you're mainly using it for. You want to be able to just summon these Soul Day as quickly as possible, so you can be able to do the whole security force play. So that's what you mainly use. The other effect is you can send this card from the field to graveyard, special summon a level 4 or lower warrior monster from your hand, and if you do, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. So that's another way to bring out, make a good normal effect, send it to the grave, special summon Rappa's effect, be able to go from there. So this card actually helps this deck very, very well. Not only that, let's say if you just want to summon, send this to the grave, summon Phantom Knight Torn Scale, you can do it like that, but I think it's just mainly you're going to be using it just to special summon this from the hand, since you control a warrior monster. Then off to the hand traps, you're just playing the 3 Ashes. Ash, you know, like I always say, Ash is great. I think 3 have to. You can't play 2 if you want. Off the spells, the 1 Terraforming, because the Terraforming will be searching this Security Force or S-Force Bridgehead. Bridgehead is actually pretty freaking cool. It's your search out of the deck for any Security Force monster. So basically, once you activate it, you can add a Security Force monster from your deck to your hand. Then when your opponent's monster declares an attack on an S-Force monster in its same column, you can activate this effect, and that monster can't be destroyed by battle. So you can protect your monsters from being destroyed by battle. And the cool thing is that the trap card lets you maneuver that the main monster zone, maneuver your S forces into a different column in the main monster zone. So like if they're gonna go and attack a monster that's not in their column, you can actually switch it over to their column, and the next thing you know, now they can't destroy by battle. The cool thing is that once you have this with Rappa, because Rappa says in the column that they can't target attacks with the columns. Like if you have 5 security force monsters on the board, with this on board and Rappa is one of those monsters, they're not going to be able to attack. It becomes like a marauding captain lock thing going on. So definitely 3 Bridgehead. Next up, 3 showdowns. As for showdowns, this card is actually, I was testing that too. I jumped it up to 3 because there are ways that you want to special summon on your opponent's turn half of the time, like bringing out Raptor. Like if you bring out, you can activate this and special summon Platina into one of the columns of your opponent's monster, and they drop 600. You can special summon Rappa, activate her quick effect, and be able to go off on your opponent's turn as well. So you want to be able to play 3. The other effect is that you could target a security force monster that's in your graveyard and just add it to your hand. So it's like a reinforcements, not a return warrior returning alive, as well as a free special summon. So I'm wish this was like a super. I wish it was a super rare. Then for the one-ofs, the Monster Reborn and Rhoda to search. Monster Reborn is Monster Reborn. The equip spells I'm playing is just normal equip spells like Infernoble Arms, the Living Fossil to bring back a warrior from the graveyard, maybe so you can special summon with Flint, and DDR because you do banish a lot in here. You only need about 3. You don't need more than that. It'll be too tight of a deck if you keep adding. And then off the traps, 2 Imperms. I want to put 3. It's just I don't know what to take out. I don't want to make it a 41 card deck, but I'd rather have 2 Imperms than have none at all. So it's like 2 Imperms. It's Imperm. Great card, always will be. 1 Fogblade. This as well I want to increase to 3. I mean to 2 at least, and put in another Boots. But again, the deck is quite tight as is. You guys got any suggestions? Please let me know. I know this deck is fairly new, and I know some people do want to test it out. Then the 1 Crackdown. Crackdown is just to snatch a steal, just to take. If your opponent is going to go do some shenanigans, you activate. Just take it before they do, and you can use it for link fodder for justify or overlay bait, however you want to do it. And then 2 Specimens. I was playing only one of this, and this card is actually really good depending on the situation. Like if you have Specimen in your hand along with a showdown, you have the whole play of like with like the security force. Let's say if you have 2 security forces on the board already, or if you have just justify, you activate Specimen, bring back whatever you linked off for justify. Like if you bring back let's just say you bring back Gravitino triggers, bring searches Raptor or searches for Platina, and then you activate showdown special summon Raptor or Platina, and you'll be able to play on your opponent's turn. And this is the card I was telling you about. If you banish out the grave, you can maneuver your S-Force monster from the main monster zone to different columns. So really cool card, guys. Really cool cards. 40 cards in the deck, as I mentioned before. This deck is quite fun, I'm not gonna lie to you. So off to the extra deck. I only have 1 proxy in extra deck because I have to look for the second one. For your rank 3s, you'll be playing the Levenair, the Sea Dragon, the Phantom Knight, Swords, Break Sword, Raiders Knight, and then the Arc Rebellion X Sea Dragon. You can be able to pull this package off like it's nothing. Because especially with the Phantom Knight engine, this package right here, you can OTK your opponent immediately. You can either go for control with the Justify and set Fogblade, Imperm, and Ash in your hand. You have a bunch of negates. Or if you're going second, you know you got game, this is your best option to do that. And Levenair is just in here because, like I mentioned before, you do banish a lot, and sometimes you want to bring back your your Torn Scales. You want to be able to overlay into something else, or Link Fodder, whatever the case may be. It's still good in here. So, but the Phantom Knight package it works in here, guys. It really does. So, off to the links. You're playing the new Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card is not hard to summon in here as well. The amount that you can be special summoning in here, it's not hard. This card is really broken. For you guys that don't know, I'll read the card effect real quick since it's brand new. You can only use one monster of your opponent controls as material to link summon this card. So right off the bat, you're gonna use one of your opponent's monsters link summon. It's inherit. It doesn't do anything. It's just summoning. It's inherit. If this card is link summoned, you can negate the effect of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. The link summon card is this link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card, so they can imparm this. So that kind of, I don't know why they did that, but yeah. And then once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons monsters from the graveyard, it's a quick effect. You can negate it and destroy it. So this card is really good, really good. I feel like this card is going to see so much play in Live Twins. So this is your Link 5, guys. This is what you're playing. You could summon it in here. Don't think that you can't. For the Link 4s, you're playing Access Code. If, like I said, if you could summon the Underworld Goddess, you can summon Access Code in here too. Especially with Justify, because after you do the whole shenanigans of negating your opponent's monster with Justify and all that stuff, you go right into Access Code token, making 53, pop, 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 and go for game from there. One Appaloosa. I'll be honest, I'm thinking about taking her out. Probably put another Link 4 or something. I'm not too sure. But yeah, she's still good. If you summon Access Code token, you summon this, and you're only gonna really get like 2 negates out of it. I mean, a negate is a negate, right? So one Goddess Bow. Then next up, new guy, S-Force Justify. I love this card. Cyber's card, Link 3. So basically, you can't summon or set monsters to where this card points to. And then his other effect is quick effect. You can target one face-up effect monster your opponent controls, negate the effect, and you can, like, it's optional, you can move it to the column of where this card points to. So, because his other effect is that when he battles a monster this card points to, in the beginning of the damage step, he banishes everything. So I've seen people do this online. Like, they have 3 monsters pointed to him, and they attack a monster in the main monster zone, and he banishes all 3 and still deals damage. So him alone can get rid of 4 monsters by himself. For the price of 1, get rid of 4. Can't go wrong with that. Really good card. I like this card. Then one Unicorn, because Unicorn. What Omega says, Mighty Pony. Then this is just the Nightmare Engine. The Unicorn, the Dog, Moltres. And then this is my here we go. IP Masquerade. It's in here because it's in here with the Unicorn play and stuff like that. And then last but not least, you're playing 2 Isoldes. Right now I can't find my second one, but this is my proxy for the second one. But you have to play 2 Isoldes in here because there are times when right after you do this first time, you're gonna go into a second time. You shouldn't be going for a third time. You should be either losing the game or winning the game. So that is it, guys. That is my freaking whatchamacallit, my S-Force. I've noticed that nobody has really put S-Forces online as a deck profile, so I'm probably one of the first, or if not the first, posting this. This deck is fun to play with. It's a rogue deck. I can't really see it being meta unless maybe we get wild support. We are getting 2 new cards in the next set, as I mentioned before. That might make a difference, but not maybe as a tier 3. But at the end of the day, it's still a fun deck. It's something that will catch your opponent off guard. So if you're playing this, the good thing is that you have the element of surprise. Especially when you're messing with columns. Not a lot of people know what to do when it comes down to columns. They sit there and they read cards, and then they still get confused because the time in the tournament, whatever the case may be. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. And if you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, show some love by hitting that subscribe button and notification button as well. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you all at the next video. Later.